Have you ever really thought about the world that's right underneath your feet? I'm not just talking about dirt and rocks, but a huge, hidden world of fresh water. Today, we're going to take a journey into this unseen realm, a part of our planet that's absolutely critical for our survival.
So, think about it. The last time you saw it really pouring down rain, did you ever stop and wonder, where does all of that water actually go?
I mean, sure, some of it's pretty obvious, right? We see it running down the street, into the gutters, and eventually feeding into rivers and streams. That's the part of the water cycle we can all see happening.
But a massive amount of it does something totally different. It just soaks right into the ground and, well, from our point of view, it basically vanishes. So where did it go?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. We're going to follow that water that disappeared on its journey deep underground into what you could call Earth's hidden water system.
Okay, so the official scientific name for this hidden reservoir is an aquifer. It's basically an underground layer of material that can hold onto water, we call that groundwater, and importantly, it lets that water move around.
But you know what? There's a much easier way to picture it, and this is the one idea I want you to hold on to. Just think of an aquifer as a giant, natural, underground sponge.
So if we're calling it a giant sponge, then what in the world is this sponge actually made of?
It's definitely not one big, solid thing. This sponge is made up of stuff like sand, gravel, or rock that has lots of tiny holes in it. The water isn't sitting in some giant underground cave or lake. It's held in the millions of tiny, connected spaces between all those little grains of sand and bits of rock. That's the secret to how it both stores water and lets it flow.
And, to really understand what works, it helps to know what doesn't. Super dense stuff like clay, for example, it's just not going to work. Water can't pass through it, so it can't act like a sponge. In fact, these layers of clay often act like a natural container, trapping the water inside an aquifer. Okay, so we know what the sponge is, but how does the water get inside it in the first place? Let's trace the water's path from a raindrop all the way down into the ground. This whole thing is called the recharge process. It all starts when rain or snow melt soaks into the topsoil. That's called infiltration. Then gravity just does its thing, pulling the water deeper and deeper until it finally reaches that sponge-like layer. That's how the aquifer gets refilled or recharged with fresh water. This recharge is literally its lifeline.
Now, not all of these underground sponges are created equal. Geologists usually break them down into two main types.
On one side, you have unconfined aquifers. These guys are pretty close to the surface, and their water level, which is called the water table, can actually go up and down with the seasons because they get recharged directly by the rain right above them. Then, on the other side, you have confined aquifers. These are trapped way down deep, sandwiched between layers of that impermeable rock we talked about. This can put the water under a ton of pressure, which is why if you drill a well into one, sometimes the water just comes gushing out all on its own. So look, this is all fascinating geology, but why does it matter so much to you and me? Well, it's because this hidden water isn't just sitting there. It is, quite literally, our freshwater lifeline. Okay, get ready for this number, because it is absolutely staggering. Aquifers hold about 97% of our planet's liquid, unfrozen freshwater. Just let that sink in for a second. All the famous rivers and lakes you can think of, all of them combined, that's only about 3%. This massive, invisible network right beneath our feet holds pretty much all of our usable fresh water.
And we are tapping into this lifeline every single day. We drill wells for our drinking water. We use it to irrigate farms to grow our food. And in a lot of places, entire towns and cities depend almost completely on the water stored in these underground sponges.
And hey, it's not just for us humans. Nature relies on them too. Ever wonder how rivers keep flowing even when it hasn't rained in months? Well, during a drought, it's groundwater from aquifers seeping out that keeps them going. They support entire ecosystems and act as a huge, stable water reserve for the planet.
So once you realize just how incredibly vital this resource is, it forces us to think about a really critical issue. How do we protect this hidden treasure?
All right, let's just pull the main ideas together real quick. An aquifer is a giant underground sponge. It gets refilled by rain through a process we call recharge, and most importantly, it's an absolutely essential source of fresh water for all of us and for the natural world. And this isn't some minor detail about how the planet works. I mean, the source material for this explainer says it flat out. For huge parts of the world, aquifers are the main source of fresh water, period.
And that brings us to the final big thought here. We rely on this enormous, invisible resource for almost everything. But because it's out of sight, it can be really easy to forget about. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Knowing that this hidden treasure is essential for life on Earth, are we doing enough to protect it?